What's good? What's good? I'm back. Yours truly, one and only Paul Pickett, host of the Paul Pickett Podcast, aka Triple P, aka the Common Sense Podcast, your source for music, sports, politics, world events, and much, much more. I just did a video for the Dizzle Lemon Gummy Taste Test, and I had to say that I'm definitely feeling that gummy. I'm not a lemon fan, but definitely feeling that gummy kicking it. So I guess it would only be right that I give you an advertisement from Dizzle brand premium luxury liqueur before I get into this video about mass layoffs at the Bud Light bottling plants. All right, let's get into it.
That Dizzle ain't no joke, got me addicted, ain't no coke. Let's just have a toast. Anybody want some smoke? Cause it's up, I be Dizzle thug. Catch me sipping with my double cup. Can't just have one, you gotta double up. You pour it, gotta watch it bubble up. I ain't gon' lie, I cannot get enough. When Callie said I need another one, gon' have you coming back for more. But go get it while it's hot, before it be sold out in your stores. That Dizzle.
I really mean it. Dizzle is a premium luxury liqueur mixed with agave tequila, cognac, and orange liquor mango mix. Just throw your Dizzle on ice, and it's nice. If you want to order your very own bottle or bottles of Dizzle premium luxury liqueur, go to dizzlebrand.com, click on our locations, click on one of the top 3 website links. I recommend Emilio's Beverage. You must be 21 and over. Shipping and handling is included. Below that is locations in California, Oklahoma, Kansas, and the number 1 selling state for Dizzle brand right now, Arkansas. Stand up. Shouts out to Little Rock Obama and Peoples with the Scale Breaker Punch as well, helping push the Dizzle brand. And be on the lookout, of course, the Dizzle brand gummies. Go to dizzlenova.com and go to campnovaonline.com as well. And don't forget, of course, do you Dizzle, dizzlebrand.com. Okay, we're gonna get into it. Bud Light plants, bottling plants shutting down. I try to tell people, man, that this wasn't just gonna be a temporary situation. I try to see, because I'm a marketing guy, I'm an advertising guy, so it's my job to predict trends, to see if a trend is going to be a short-term trend or a long-term trend, and to see if something is actually going to be a trend once it, a lot of people start doing it. And definitely the Bud Light boycott is the best boycott I've ever seen in my lifetime. My 44 years of living, it's the best one I've ever seen. But let's get into this video with Tim Pool and the crew.
Lost.
Man,
I want to say that again.
Gummies.
600 people are losing their jobs because Bud Light demand is tanking. You know what? So be it. Bud Light caused this problem. It is their fault. And so for those who have lost their jobs, I'm sorry to hear it. But y'all need to point the finger at Bud Light, not anybody who doesn't want to buy the product.
Yeah.
2 bottling plants are shutting down because no.
Let me chime in there right quick. Y'all need to point the finger at Bud Light. See, this is why time and time again I will stress on this podcast. As a business owner, you can't take a political side. Just ride the middle. If anything, you can't choose right or left. You got to ride the middle. I talk like, as the guy that runs a lot of the social media for Dizzle, I just helped them set up where we could just post all of our accounts at once. I handle the YouTube shorts. I handle the Facebook profile page. Now that we got threads, I handle the threads, and I handle what else do I handle? There's one other one that I do. So YouTube shorts, the threads, Facebook profile page, and there's one other. Oh, there's one other one. I just can't think what it was. I think it is the Triller. But we just created, social media I put a social media app so they can all just post to all the platforms at once. But we had this talk, like when it first started, like I was like, yo, Dizzle can never take a political stance. Like you can't choose a side. You can't choose a side. You can't just this is the problem, man. When you take that stance, when you take that stance that, oh, hey, my business is a Republican or my business is a Democrat, you're really saying screw half of your customers. You're saying fuck half of your customers. You're alienating half of your consumer base. Because it should be common knowledge and common sense that almost every business, about 50% of their consumers are Republicans. Oh no, my bad. 40% of the are Republicans, or 45%, and 40 or 45% are liberals and Democrats, and then the other 10% is like libertarians and the middle, which is me, because I've never voted Republican in my life, and it's funny how like people always try to label people as conservative and they've never voted Republican in their life just because their views might lean more conservative, especially nowadays. That's the thing. Like, just because my views might lean a certain way doesn't mean I'm taking a political stance. Like, I'm choosing a side. Until I actually vote for that side, I haven't chosen that side. And until I actually come out and endorse that side and say, yo, yes, you know, my business is Republicans. No, like, it's just views at this point. Like, once you take that stance, though, that this is your political party that you choose, you're alienating half your consumer base. Because you're not only alienating the conservatives, you're probably alienating the libertarians, because libertarians are not too fond of liberals or conservatives. You know, you're probably alienating the independents. The People's Party falls into probably the 10%, which Cornel West is running as. And I would say Cornel West doesn't like liberals or conservatives, and some of his views lean more conservative, and some of his views lean more liberal. But once you take that political stance, you just either endorse a political side or you vote for a political side, and you let it be known you're just alienating half of your consumer base. You know, that's why, like, you don't like. I try to keep all my businesses separate, for one thing. And Paul Pickett Podcast is separate from Promo Palace LLC, even though I do promote my brand, Promo Palace LLC, on here. I don't put no kind of flags on my website. That's another thing. Like, even I don't even think businesses should throw probably any flags out there on their websites and stuff, because now all flags are controversial. U.S. flag has become controversial, and the pride flag has become controversial. Let's keep it moving.
Nobody's buying the bottles anymore. A decrease in demand means ain't nobody got a job for these people. There is some collateral damage in that these people who had these jobs are going to be hurt by it. And I saw these stories, we've seen it for the past several months, where these companies are saying, please, please buy Bud Light because we, the distributors and the bottling plants and the shipping departments, we're going to lose our jobs. And it's like, yo, no, I won't do it. I'm sorry, man. 3 months ago, this kicked off, and y'all should have started looking for new jobs right away when you knew it was getting bad. I am not going to buy Bud Light because there are factory workers who will be negatively impacted. I feel for those workers. I'm sorry this is happening, but I am not going to support this company. Bud Light destroyed their brand, refused to apologize. And so what have they done so far?
Let me stop again. See, that's the whole issue with this. You can't alienate half of your consumer base and then not apologize to them. And then you try to double down on the wokeness. Then you try to backtrack and go Americana again. And it's like you're just flip-flopping. Now Bud Light has pissed off the woke side because they didn't fully embrace it and didn't fully support it. They try to flip flop back to Americana, and then they double down on Pride again. It's just like it's a disaster. It's a dumpster fire at this point. You know, it's like when we talk about Dizzle. Dizzle, the name Dizzle, when you think of Dizzle, you think of urban slang. You think of Snoop Dogg. You think of that. So how does Dizzle, like, it's like Bud Light was trying to reach, like they were trying to reach this whole other fan base and consumer base, but they didn't care about offending or alienating the base they had. I mean, they clearly said it when they said we're trying to get away from the frat boy beer image. Well, that means you're just trying to alienate or offend the consumers you have just to appease to a bunch of consumers you don't have. Like they're trying to get appease a consumer base that won't be able to buy a beer for another seven years. You're talking about miscalculation. So Dizzle's like, all right, well, how do we not just be known as a black only liquor or a hood liquor or urban only liquor? Well, you don't get political, and we probably just simple as getting a country singer to do a commercial since we got a lot of hip hop commercials. It's probably as simple as that. Getting a country singer, a up and coming country singer to do a Dizzle commercial, or getting some poppy white girl to do a Dizzle commercial, or a rock band to do a Dizzle commercial. It's probably just that simple. But we don't have to get into politics. We don't have to take a political stance. um you know Dizzle is all about the paper. We're all about the sales, the money. And Dizzle is for blacks, whites, Asians, Puerto Ricans, Dominicans, and Haitians. Anybody. It's not it's not just for one race of people. Even though some people, the name, you think of Dizzle, you just, like I say, you think of Snoop Dogg. So it's just really about marketing and strategies, showing people, hey, Dizzle it could be for everybody. It could, if you like cognac, if you like tequila, try Dizzle. If you like mango, you like orange flavors and alcohol, try Dizzle. But we don't like taking a political stance is the worst thing any business could ever do. Let's keep it moving.
Put out these ridiculous commercials. That's right. Bud Light has a new commercial where it's a bunch of men grunting. Seriously? Nice try, Bud Light. You are not going to recover from this.
Nope.
Especially with Dylan Mulvaney coming out and reigniting the story once again, criticizing the brand. But this
Yeah, that's another thing. They try to say, "Oh, well, this wasn't really an advertisement. We just sent one can to one person." Yeah, but it was a sponsorship, and sponsorships are advertisements. So, and Dylan Mulvaney's like, "Well, hold up. This was a sponsorship. This was supposed to be me promoting the brand and advertising the brand." So yeah, you chose to take a stance and choose a sponsor who um, is part of an issue that's very, very controversial right now, very politicized right now. It's an issue that a lot of people will never ever accept and never agree with in society. The transgenderism. I would never accept or agree with transgenderism. Never ever. Not in a million years will I ever accept it or agree with it. So there's a lot of people out there that feel that way, and you've taken that stance. It's like, I think right now the most controversial thing in America is transgenderism. I think transgenderism is overshadowing everything because the indoctrination in the schools and trying to force it upon kids in schools and things of that nature. So let me go ahead and play a little bit more.
What we
But
see. And right now we have more news in the culture war front, a lot of news in the culture war front, and it is victories across the board. Ben and Jerry's is now finally under fire because they insulted Independence Day, as did several liberals. Well, Ben and Jerry's has always been this ridiculous woke brand, even though they're owned by Unilever, a massive multinational conglomerate. But now people are finally saying enough. We are not going to partake in these ridiculous and awful brands with garbage messaging. And so here we are. And on that front, with the culture war, we also have the massive success for the opening day of Sound of Freedom. Have you heard about this movie? Jim Caviezel plays the role of Tim Ballard, a man who is stopping child trafficking. And the movie hit $10 million in sales for their opening day. It's a big deal. It's a big deal. So this is where we all rep it together.
And you know what? Liberals, I'm going to react to a video with that too. And I'm going to react to a video with the Ben and Jerry's. But the liberals pushing back on the Sound of Freedom. The fact that they're nitpicking, like, well, it's a little embellished, makes me question the character of any. I question the character of anybody who pushes back on the movie Sound of Freedom. Because it's about trafficking kids. I mean, if that's all you could come up with, I have to question: are you supporting trafficking kids and pedophilia? Because the idea that anybody will push back on that movie, I mean, I know it's America. There's some sick, sadistic people out there, but gosh, anybody pushing back on that movie is crazy. And you know what? I don't think I need to see more of this video. I'm going to say it time and time again. If you're a business, you choose to take a political stance, endorse any political side, or vote for any political side, and let it be known. Be prepared to lose half of your consumer base. And don't be mad at the consumers and call them bigots and homophobes and transophobes and racists when you lose that consumer base because you chose to alienate half of your consumer base. That's just common sense and common knowledge. And if there's any business person that doesn't know that, I mean, all these people in all these big businesses with all these big college degrees, if they don't know that, I mean, they're dumber than a bag of bricks. And I feel like a freaking genius right now, because that should be common sense. You don't take a political side in a business. Whatever your business is, like if you make pizzas, just focus on making good quality pizzas. If you're in the market advertising business like me, just focus on providing results and high quality services. If you are in the burger business, just focus on making a good ass burger. I don't want to go and that's the thing. People don't want to be lectured when they go to buy a slice of pizza or go buy a burger or go pay for advertising services or go get their tires changed or the oil. I don't want to, like, nobody wants to go get their oil changed and be lectured, have virtue signaling thrown in their face when they're just trying to get their oil changed. When people are trying to make business transactions, they're just trying to make business transactions. They're not trying to be lectured and shamed in the process. And trying to shame somebody into go watch movies and buy your products, that's a terrible marketing strategy as well. How about just focus on making a good movie, putting out a good product, providing a good quality service? How about doing that? In my business, I always try to give my clients the best advice as possible. If they don't listen to me, that's on them. That's on them. It's my job to provide the best advice possible, provide the best quality services, not to sit there and tell them, hey, you should vote Republican or you should vote Democrat, or what do you think about abortion or affirmative action, or, When people want to be lectured, they'll ask to be lectured. Trust me. So once again, I want to thank y'all for tuning in, Paul Pickett Podcast. And I'm out.